Hi, today I want to share Small Group Prayers online prayer software and show off some of the features it has to offer your church or small group. Let's get right into it. So, what is Small Group Prayer software? So, this software is designed to facilitate prayer requests within small groups, enabling members to share prayer requests, track prayer needs, and pray together. With features like private prayer request locations or rooms, so only the group leader of that small group can see these prayers, or you can share with all your small groups and church members. So they actually do have a demo on the site. So if you just go to demo here, it'll open up a new page and you can see you get right away to this prayer request. Now what this prayer request does is this is the first step that you would want to send out to your small group. You would send them your custom URL, so it would have your church name .smallgroupprayers.com. So they would create your own kind of subdomain URL, so it's customized just for your church or your small group. And you would share that link out. They would get to this page. They can put in their prayer request here. So we'll do an example prayer here. Now, the next spot is unspoken requests. So let's say you have a prayer request and you have an unspoken. So you can checkbox that, so then your leader will have a notification on your prayer that will say that you also have an unspoken request. Or you can uncheck this if you don't have that. Now, do you have a praise or an answer to your prayer? You simply check that. And then you can put in that praise of what might have happened. So we're going and posting an example here that you might have a praise. So we'll checkbox that. Now there's another check that's on by default that says share with other groups of my church name. Now of course that church name would be whatever the name of your church will be. But you can check this on or off. So this is if it's more something close to your heart and you don't really want to share with everybody and just your leader and people in your small group, then you want to uncheck that. So then only your leader and people in your small group will be able to hear and read that message. Now, if you want to share with your church and other groups, then you checkbox that. And I'm going to show you the difference. So we're going to check this on. So now we're going to put in our name. And then now the location drop down. This is for how many different rooms and locations you can have. So let's say you're in Kevin's small group, Brian's small group. You can choose whatever you want from there. And we just put in a lot of demo stuff in here. So maybe I'm in Chris's small group. You select that. And so this will be put into that leader's view only. So now we can go and hit submit prayer requests. And you can see the new prayer has been added. And you can click on this and this will take you to that group's prayer request. So if there was other prayers, you'll be able to see those here. So we'll go ahead and do this again just so you can see the difference. And you can see that this does have a praise request. And you can see that down here, the date and time. And then of course that prayer that we submitted. So if we go back here and do new prayer requests, and like I said, this is all mobile friendly. So any smartphone device, this will be able to see pretty easy. We'll do prayer number 2 here. We'll say we got unspoken this time. We'll leave the share on. So this time we'll put in Mike Smith. We'll choose the same group and then hit submit. Click on that button again, and you can see there's our prayer number 2, and you can see it doesn't have a praise and it doesn't have that highlight. But it does have an unspoken icon, so because we choose that unspoken selection there. So if I go here and do new prayer request, and we'll put in demo 3, we won't share. We'll choose Brian's small group. We'll put in Amanda Smith for this one, and submit prayer request. Now if we click on this, it's going to take us to that public view page, but you're going to notice it's not there because we didn't checkbox the share. So that means that only the leader, when they log in, will be able to see that prayer request. And we'll show you that here in a minute. But let's say, just for testing purposes, we're going to do another prayer, demo 4 here. And we'll just put Amanda Smith 2, the same Brian, and submit prayer request. Now we're going to click on view. And you can see we're only going to see that demo 4. But if I go up to here to filter by locations, I can select all small groups. Or, hey, just show me all Chris's small groups prayers. And you can see that, filter by location, choose Brian. You can see Brian's public small group prayer request. So that's how you can access everyone's different prayers. Or let's say you want all locations and see all prayers. You can do that too. And it'll bring in all the prayer requests from all different small groups or rooms or locations, however you have that set up. So I showed you the new prayer requests. I showed you how to filter the prayers by location. And now we're going to show you login. And this is only for group leaders and the person that's, of course, managing the software, right? So we're going to go ahead and log in here. All right, once we got logged in, you can see I'm the group leader for Brian's small group. So what that means is, that's what that stands for, SGL, small group leader. So I'm the small group leader for Brian's small group. So that means I'll be able to see everything that was private or public for Brian's small group prayers. So as a small group leader, this is basically just for you. You click on My Group Prayer Requests, and you can see those 2 prayer requests that we did on the demo. So you can see this one's private and this one's public. So that's what the share icon's for. So if you see the shared, that means it's public and shared. And this one's a private prayer request, so it's more private to that person. So you can see both prayers are there. If you need to make changes or anything to these prayers, you can simply click the edit button and you can actually edit their prayer. You can hide the prayer. So let's say someone posted something that shouldn't be shown everywhere, or maybe they accidentally made it public and you want it private. You can change that here, and you can also hide the prayer from everybody. Only the admin and the group leader can see that prayer. So you can do that as well from here. All right, now that we're back at the My Group Prayers, so like I said, the group leader will be able to see all the group requests here, and you can see there's a date range here, which this can be modified. Just contact support. Basically shows you the last week of prayers. So it doesn't become so crazy in here when you're in the small group, because usually small groups meet once a week, but obviously every small group is different and can change, but they're going to give that ability to make date changes and things like that. But right now it's basically a week back, and you get to see all the prayers. So then when you're in a small group, you save the prayers, and then people submit new ones for the next meeting, right? So there's also an option here if you're a leader. Like I said, when you log in, you get to see all the prayers. So you click on all prayers and you can see all the prayers from all the different groups. You can modify any of them, delete any of them. You can also see the location of who they're for. You can see this is for Chris's small group 4, 9. You can see all that. You can see who created it, the IP address, all that other good information, the name. You basically see all the information you would see on My Group Prayer Requests. And it's the same thing. You can hit edit. You can add things in here. You can actually add emojis too if you wanted to. So if people submit with their mobile phone, they can put in emojis. This is compatible for that as well. So you can see that pop up there. Also, add prayer requests. When you click on this takes you right to that same page we were just at earlier. So this is just the link that you would share to your church and your organization for new prayer requests. Now, you can have small group leaders as admin. Of course, we're logged in as an admin, and I'll show you what a normal group leader looks like. But in this case, we're an admin as well as a group leader. So we can click on locations. Now, the location types here can be room types too. But basically, this is where you can add a new location or a new room or a small group name. So like, for example, our church, has their name, the first person of the group leader, right? So like Kevin's small group, Brian's small groups, Mike's small group, and you can add those all in there, and you can set different colors. Now the colors are just so you can easily look at the prayer and be like, oh, reds are Brian, so I know that, and greens are small group 7, so you can see that. So you can customize and add these whatever you want. You just hit the edit button. You can change the small group name, the color, and all that from here, and you can change it to not active if you don't want people to submit requests to that. So for example, if we don't want Kevin's small group anymore being able to select at the front page, if we go back here, you can see Kevin's small group is now gone from that list. So that's how you can hide that. And then also, if we go back here to our list, you simply create new location. That's where you can add the new location if you need to do that. This basically populates this drop down. So if you need to change or delete any of these, that's where you can do that from here. So you can customize it just for your church. Now, if we go under users, you can see the different small group leaders' accounts and logins. You can see the last time they logged in, their date and time. If they're a user, if they're an admin, you can see all that information from here. And you can simply click edit. You can change their password, modify any of their information. Of course, you need to create new ones. You hit create new user. So like if we're creating an account for Kevin, we would type in Kevin here at the top, assign him Kevin's small group from the drop down, then put in his last name. So once we got their last name in, we can put in their email and then a password for their account. Make sure it's activated for them. We can set the different ranks. So we'll do just user for this because we don't want them to have full admin access. We're going to assign it, the group to Kevin to this. So click on create user. Perfect. So now we can go ahead and go to our account, log out. So now we're going to log in as Kevin to show you what that looks like. So we put in his email, his password, and then this is just a math problem just to stop spam login. So we put in 6 for that math problem. Hit login. Now if they don't know their login, they can simply click forgot password to do that process. but we're going to hit login. We have a different layout. You can see the admin links are gone. You can see all the admins here on the side here is all gone, because this is strictly just for the group leaders if they don't need admin access to modify different user logins, locations, things of that nature. That should really be only for the admins to log in to make those changes. And you can see we got the same stuff, this month's prayer focus, which can be modified only by the admin. Random Bible verses can only be modified, of course, by the admin again, but they can add in different Bible verses, and those will populate automatically randomly from there. And the Acts prayer model, it shows up from here, different stats for that. I didn't go over that, but they can see all that kind of information there. Now, if we click on My Group Prayers, you can see there are new prayers for Kevin, so then you get that pop up. But let's go ahead and add one. So we'll just do test prayer for Kevin. We'll put in John Smith for the name. Now, from the drop down, we're going to select Kevin's small group right there. Hit Submit Prayer Request. We can click on this to see all the Kevin's small group prayers there. And now if we go back here and simply refresh, you can see now Kevin has a small group prayer request. So I wanted to show you one last thing here. This search icon up here, if we type in simply Kevin and hit search, it'll pull up all the prayers that have Kevin in the name here. Or if you just hit all prayers and get to this page, you can simply just type in Kevin here as well, and it'll pull up anything Kevin. So it's not just searching in the name and IDs, but it's searching in the prayer request and in the location. So let's say we want to search for this particular prayer. You can type that in. You can see it's only going to be pulling up anything that has Kevin in that small group. So also in the admin section, I wanted to show you settings. So settings is where only the admin, of course, can see, but he can modify the Bible verses. So if he wants to, and these will randomly populate here on the desktop. So you can modify these, add more, delete them, or not have any at all. You can do that as well. The prayer focus, you can modify that here. So if you have a particular prayer focus this month, praying for healing for somebody or something, you can modify and add that in there so then the group leader knows about that. So the next thing is site settings. Once we load up into site settings, you can see what software version you're on. You can export and import prayers from here, which is a nice feature. You can modify the church address, your church name, everything from here. If you have terms of service, you can modify that from there. Now, the next one is logs, and logs would just show you people logging in, if the locations get updated or get created or prayers get updated or added. It's all logged in this login area, so you can see if something happens, you can go into the logs and see what happened if someone logged in, maybe change the location name. You can see who did that. So there's a lot of good information here. The last page is called billing. So this is where you can modify how many different group leaders you can have. And this is particular just for the login area. You can have multiple rooms and locations, but as far as the users and group leaders go, that's what you're limited by. So you can see the starter plan is 5, and then Pro 10, and then of course Enterprise is unlimited. The next thing I want to show you is my profile. And this will show you the last IP address and the date and time you logged in, what type of account you have. You can change your password from here as well. You can modify your first and last name. You can change your image there, description if you need notes. If you want to enable email log notifications so you know when someone logs into your account, you can enable that. You can go to your activity list. So these are activities done by only your account. So you can see exactly what you did. Like we created that user Chris under this admin account. We updated some prayers so you can see that was done today. And also very important is two-factor authentication. So this is very important if you want to add extra protection and security onto your account. Now, I would only really recommend the admins to do this. Maybe not the group leaders, but maybe the admins have this accessibility. And that's really it for the My Profile section. So that's a pretty brief overview of how this system works. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. I hope this video was helpful with your small group journey with your church.